Hey y'all, it's Multifaceted Mom, and I'm back with another video. So let's get right into it. This week I have been doing a lot of reflecting, and I wanted to call out some people that I feel like need to be called out, including myself, because I was almost one of these people. Why are you disqualifying yourself before anybody else disqualifies you? Let me explain. So this week I have been, as y'all know, I am a mental health counseling student, grad student, graduating this year. And something I have always strived to do is to get my PhD. And I had a vision for what I wanted to do. I already knew why I wanted to get a PhD. However, I kept thinking like, oh my gosh, I'm a mom. I've spent so much time in school already of their life, and I don't want to not be present for them because I am striving for, success. I am striving for my version of what I want to be in the future, or my version of success. And I was feeling very sad or kind of down because I was thinking that I am teetering on not going to school to get my PhD, and being extremely present in my kids' lives the way I think they might need me to in the future, and really delaying this dream of mine, all because I feel like I can't do it all. And the reality is that I was disqualifying myself before anybody else disqualified me. I was making excuses essentially for why I can't get to the next level, or why I can't pursue this dream of mine. And I realized that a lot of people do this. A lot of people, when they start getting close to something that has never been done before in their family, maybe you are the first in your family to graduate from college, maybe you are the first in your family to move away from your hometown, you can come up with so many different reasons and excuses and ways out of doing that thing that you are supposed to do. And I'll give you another example. As I was debating on going to Texas and moving out of my home state, I kept feeling like, oh, I just want God to make it clear to me that this is what I'm supposed to do. I need God to just make it clear. And I remember my mom saying, like, you really think God told you to do that? He ain't tell you to do that. And not only is that not her place to tell me that, but a lot of people do this for themselves. A lot of people will mistake voices in their heads and doubts for God telling you not to do something. And that's not always the case. I can't really tell you what God told you to do and told you not to do, but I think that we make excuses, whether that be religion, whether that be kids, whether that be this made up voice, which really might be our subconscious really holding us back and self-sabotaging where we are supposed to be going and what are we supposed to be doing. And if this is you, then listen in, because I have a few things for you that really kind of help me get some perspective on not disqualifying myself from dreams that I have. So another thing I have been thinking about before I get into, a few tips is, going to get my PhD in Europe. And on one hand, while that seems incredibly insane to do, why is it incredibly insane? Why? Is it because I'm a mom? Is it because nobody has ever done this before? Is it because all my life I went to school in one city throughout my entire life? Yes, that might have been the ideal of stable, but sometimes the idea of stable might be just being with one parent or having the same people in their lives, or it could just identify as so many different things. And I think that as moms, or really people, we try to make these excuses to not do what we are called to do. Because honestly, my dreams scare me. I'm like, God, you want me to do what? You want me to speak in front of a whole bunch of people and do what? You want me to make this big impact and this influence, really? Like little old me that just comes from, you know, the city of Detroit? Like, really? And sometimes we can't stop ourselves from getting to that next level because our dreams scare us. And instead of facing what scares us and pushing past it and using God as a tool to push past the fear, we use God as an excuse to just say, oh, nope, I'm going to remain stagnant. I'm going to remain safe. But anyway, let's get into it. So one thing I want to say, for one, you cannot be afraid to take risks. Something that helped me in moving to Texas was a video that I had watched about how do you know when God is telling you to do something or if it's the right decision. And the example was Jesus befriending Judas, and how, you know, Judas was actually the one that betrayed him. Was Judas the person that stopped Jesus from pursuing what he was actually supposed to be doing? No, he actually pushed him past it. So he wasn't wrong for befriending Judas or having him as a disciple and choosing him. He was a part of the plan. So I say all of that to say you cannot be afraid to take risks, because right now it's certain things that have been bumps in the road for me getting settled in Texas. Does that mean I'm not supposed to be here? No, because I was having things, bumps in the road in Michigan. So sometimes we could use these certain things as excuses to not do what we're supposed to do. I see people on Facebook, in my Facebook group for moving to Texas, talking about how, oh, it's so hard here, I'm struggling. Baby, you will be struggling back at home. Don't use that as an excuse. Find a way. And honestly, a lot of time, and I'm going to look at my phone, y'all, because I don't want to do too much editing. I just want to go straight through. But a lot of times, risk also involves learning lessons that we might mistake as failures. A failure is an opportunity to learn to do better, or to teach the next person coming after you things that you wish you would have known. And certain lessons are meant to be learned by you specifically, because God wants to use you. It's not easy being used. Secondly, don't tell yourself no before anybody else does. I was telling myself no to a PhD before I even applied, before I even seen what type of fellowships there were to sponsor my program, before I even put effort into my plan A. I just told myself no because, oh, I'm a mom. I told myself no before I even said maybe I should only take one class, or maybe I can find different programs so where I can balance life. I actually just wrote in my notes today, I don't want to put off, you know, saving for retirement and saving for my kids' college, which was another reason why I was like, should I keep going to school? But the thing is, how about I figure out how I can make enough money to not only pay my bills, live comfortably, give my kids the life that I want, but also save for their college and save for their retirement every month. How about I come up with a solution instead of coming up with another reason why I shouldn't do it? How about we make a way that we could do it? And I think a lot of people do this because they just say, they use it as a reason as to why they shouldn't do something. My third thing is, a closed door is really God's redirection. So this is something kind of speaking to what I was talking about before, when, you know, when it may be hard to achieve something, that does not mean that you're not supposed to achieve it. I hear a lot of people saying, oh, it's difficult, you know, entrepreneur life is hard for me. And that can very much be true. But what if God really needs you to take this route to influence the people he needs you to influence, but you're so not wanting to get out of your comfort zone that, or you're afraid of this redirection and you mistaking it for just stopping and pausing? No. Stop, pause, and reconvene and see how you could make a different approach. For me, when I published Dear Sarah, I got stuck writing my story. And Dear Sarah is an anthology for pregnancy loss and helping other women. I got stuck writing my story, and instead of saying, oh, I'm just not going to do this no more because God just must not want me to do it. No, I pray and I push past it. I pray for God to give me the words, give me the wisdom to finish my story and write it. It's certain things that I want to do that are going to require me to break down doors, to overcome obstacles. Does that mean that because it's not easy, God doesn't want me to do it? No, that's not what that means. And I feel like us as people, maybe it's, you know, middle class or people who are first generation wealthy people, first generation to go to college, sometimes we self-sabotage ourselves from reaching the next level. Sometimes we use the excuse of, oh, it hasn't been done, or, oh, I'm just supposed to live this, you know, type of ordinary life, or, oh, I'm already doing better than the person before. So you're going to compare your level, you know, 5 to somebody else's level 1 to make yourself feel better about yourself. But however, you looking at somebody else level 10 and feeling like it's out of reach for yourself. But baby, it's not. It's not out of reach unless you make it out of reach for yourself. Now, it may be hard. It may be obstacles. It may be certain loops that you have to go through that somebody else may not have had to go through. However, you're going to be able to break down the door for people behind you. And again, this is how God uses people. And my last thing is, stop making excuses. I've already said this. Stop making excuses. Stop using your kids. Stop using God. Stop using religion to stop yourself from reaching your fullest potential. I'm not saying to not genuinely listen to God's voice, but I'm wondering if sometimes the enemy may use this type of confusion to say, oh yeah, you should start working on your dream, girl, because it's just not time yet. Or what if it is time and you are just using this voice in the back of your head to stop you from reaching your fullest potential? These are just some things I really want you to take away and just really think about, because I am on the verge of graduating from this program, and I have been debating on if I want to go to that next level or how I want to reach that next level. And honestly, it scares the hell out of me, because I'm like, nobody has ever did this before. This feels lonely. This feels isolating. But that's when God uses you. That's when he attracts people to you. And that's why God is making me do a lot of inner work so I can feel worthy of my dreams and not self-sabotage by letting people stop me, by letting myself or that inner voice stop me, and really following him and trusting him that he's going to give me enough to be sufficient to accomplish my dreams. But that's all for today, folks. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. See you.